Aiko, everyone. Aiko. Welcome back to here. Yeah. It has been quite a while. Sorry, just needed to position my microphone more properly. But it has been quite a while since, since I have streamed. Let's just say I really needed to fix my sleep schedule. But anyways, I'm back. I am back and ready and perfectly, fully ready for this stream. Well, not perfectly ready. I'm like 88% ready. 88 is a choice of number because, I'm not 100% ready, but also I am definitely not a low percentage of readiness. Let's just say I have a percentage of readiness that is just enough or something. But yeah, Australian animals, tier list. We are going to get right into it just very soon. Welcome back. Thank you, everyone. Alright, hi Aiko left. Hi Aiko. Welcome. Everyone. And hi Aiko to you too, Scoozling. And yes, get some hearts into the chat for me. I mean, I'd appreciate them at least, but not necessarily I don't necessarily 100% need them, but thank you everyone. I'm definitely in a recovering ability mode. Recovering ability mode? Not sure. Also, my Aiko, excuse me. But yeah. The animals time. Animal. Australian animals, as a matter of fact. And do you know what's so cool about Australian animals? They are animals from the place that I live in. Hello, Gabe. Hi, Aiko. And hi, Aiko to you too, Zario. Just let me turn down the volume and put this, you're half expecting the Australian animalist is just gonna be the Earth Defense Force list. Maybe. I'm not sure. Although, it definitely might be something like that. Australian creature list? Yes, indeed, a tier list of all the Australian animals. There we go. It should theoretically be working. But for some reason, I cannot see it on the screen. I haven't transitioned to the scene where it is yet. By the way, I'll try that now, and hopefully that'll work. So, Here we go. It has worked, as a matter of fact. It's worked pretty much perfectly. Very, very well. Although the browser doesn't work. So I need to resize it, which is what I was doing initially anyways. And there we go. There we go. Looks much better. So this is the Australian Animals Tier List Maker. Oh. That's your phone. Well, I mean, I personally don't prefer that kind of thing. Understandable. Oh, you can... The music's a bit too loud? I mean, I don't think it's actually a bit too loud. I think I was just not exactly putting my mouth right up to the microphone. Does this sound a little bit better? Hopefully it should sound a little bit better. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Alright, so... Australian animals, not alien animals. There's a very big difference between alien animals and Australian animals. I don't know if there would be any alien animals around. We don't know about any alien animals, at least as far as I know, but you know. Because, well, like, alien animals you see would be very interesting, but you can't exactly predict what an alien animal is going to be like. So, anyway, moving on to the tier list. Oh, also, hi Aiko, Alfonso, Happy Cat. Hey. Hi Aiko, welcome. Australian animals kind of seem alien to the rest of the world. Well, I would argue, yes, that is probably the case, somewhat at the very least. Because the thing about Australian animals is that Australia is a completely separated continent from most of the rest of the world, and it has been for a very long time. So, first off, we are going to start with some of the smallest ones, including first up, the bandicoot. I'm just going to put them in like C tier when I'm not actually decided what they are. So the bandicoot. You've probably seen the bandicoot before. I mean, Crash Bandicoot is a very famous bandicoot. To be honest, he is a very, very famous game character. And bandicoots in general just look pretty cute. Although, I'd say that nose is just a bit long. It makes it a bit too rat-like. And the pointiness... I would put it in S, but I think it's a solid A tier for me. And next up, we have the Bilby. Look at it. Look at those adorable ears. The little nose, the little tail, the little feet. Tiny, tiny feet. Look so furry. Absolutely furry. Very, very adorable. It's a Bilby, and Bilbies are amazing. And for this, I will grant you, Bilbies, a ranking up there in the coveted S tier rank. Next up, we have the Black Swan. The Black Swan is, well, I mean, it's a swan, but it's black. And it's native to Australia, so kind of uncreative if you ask me. Like, they just painted a swan black, and dropped it here and said, okay, here is your unique bird. So, for me, well, a swan's automatically a pretty decent tier, but the originality clause makes it a lot worse of a tier, so I'm gonna put it down in C. C tier for the black swan. Extra points for dramatic name? I suppose. A fellow bird? Indeed. Say hi, Aiko, Skyhawk. Hi, Aiko. And you never see a black swan before? Yeah. They are a very, very specific Australian animal. So next up is a creature which is, let's just say a little creature. The blue-ringed octopus. If you've heard of the blue-ringed octopus before, you would know it is one of the most poisonous creatures in all of the world. Like a tiny tip of that a tiny bit of poison from its beak is, let's just say, enough to kill a grown human male, or I think it's also enough to kill an elephant so many times over. I don't know. Is that a poison tree frog? It has enough venom to kill 26 adult humans within minutes. Yep. So it's pretty dangerous. Although thankfully I'm not a human, but I do still need to watch out for the danger that blue-ringed octopuses pose. They are incredibly dangerous, despite the fact that they are, like, obviously adorable. And for that, I'll put them up here in the S tier. They're obviously below the bilby. The bilby is obviously the better one, the better choice. Next up, we have the blue-tongued lizard. Don't you hate it when some random small animals like the octopus and frog have the deadliest poison ever? I mean, I think it's pretty cool that it shows that you don't necessarily have to be huge in order to have, like, carve out a space in the environment so that other creatures make sure to avoid you. So, this is the blue-tongued lizard. Very, very adorable, extremely cute, and also has a blue tongue. I need to actually look this up because there's no image of the tongue itself, but I am telling you for certain. Blue-tongued lizards do indeed actually have blue tongues. I mean, I have to find... here we are. Apparently they're also known as blue-tongued skinks. But this is what one looks like. The blue-tongued lizard. Look at that. Look at those eyes. That blep. The simple blep of the blue tongue. Those humongous claws. That long body. And all that other stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, just a warning just in case anyone is afraid of certain things. There will probably be some insects and spiders in this tier list. Just a preemptive warning, because, you know, those sorts of things are pretty common in Australia, and pretty regular Australian animals, so, you know. Just a short warning. Are they poisonous? Actually, I don't believe blue-tongued lizards are poisonous. No. They're just like, they just have blue tongues. Supposedly the blue tongues are because supposedly the blue tongues are for a bluff warning. I see. A bluff warning. That's important. That's very, very important for animals, at least. So, with this, I will put the blue-tongue lizard in tier A. Not quite as good as the blue-ringed octopus, but you know, it goes up there. Next up, we have the brolga. Basically an Australian version of a flamingo, but also slightly different. Brolgas, well, they're wetlands birds, and apparently they're in the crane family, actually. Oh, that's pretty cool. They're known as Australian cranes, and, well, they basically live around the wetlands a lot. You'll see some of them in urban areas when you're going around, and let me just say, it's kind of surreal looking at them. The red things on their head, the red markings on their head, let me just say, those are also very pretty. Very, very pretty. But it's bad, so B tier for bad. Anyways, next up, we have the bush turkey. Whoops. If you haven't heard of the bush turkey before, it's a type of turkey that lives in the bush and is Australian. I'm pretty sure it's native to Australia. It's also a lot different to other turkeys, I think. I'm not sure why in particular bush turkeys are so different from other turkeys, but they are, apparently. So, it's from the family Megapodidae, which is mound builders, but it's not actually related to American turkeys or the Australian kind of turkey thing, which is also known as a bush turkey, apparently. I didn't actually know that. Oh. Apparently, they are, well, let's just say, very, very different from all the other turkeys. Despite the fact that they look pretty close to American turkeys. I mean, they don't have the little globe things on their chin that the American turkeys do. You know, the ones that are like, blah, 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 blah. Are they aggressive? Not really. They run away generally when you run towards them, and they get really scared of dogs and stuff. Sometimes you can actually find the mounds that they actually build in small forest areas. I've been to one of those small forest areas before and found it, and let me tell you, that is pretty cool. Now, I don't think the bush turkey is necessarily like the best animal, so, but it's a pretty nice one. It is a pretty nice one. So I'll put bush turkey up at the top of B. B for bush turkey. Anyways, next up, we have one of the Australian animals of all time, the cassowary. If you see this thing, run. Run as fast as you can. Well, actually, I don't think the advice is to run, but it's definitely advice to get away as fast as you can. Cassowaries are extremely aggressive, territorial, and generally some of the, you know, most notoriously dangerous creatures in Australia. They're like the closest thing to a modern-day velociraptor. So, you should quickly turn away without moving your back if a cassowary comes next to you or something. But apparently, people are hand-feeding them, which is a bad idea. You should not hand-feed a wild bird that is essentially the closest relative living to a velociraptor of some sort. So, you know. Maybe not the greatest idea. But given how dangerous the cassowary is, it's safe to say a solid S tier for the cassowaries. Solid S tier. Do they hunt emu? As far as I know, cassowaries and emus are definitely territorial with each other. But that's only as far as I know. So, do emus and cassowaries get along? For the most part, they'll never see each other. Apparently. Good to know at least, but given that they're territorial birds, I would assume the answer is probably no. Next up, something that a lot of people here will recognize, probably a lot more than other things, the cockatoo. The cockatoo, one of the most popular Australian animals. You've probably heard of it before. It's like the quintessential Australian parrot. Though there are multiple other different kinds of Australian parrots, the cockatoo is like one of the largest ones, most popular and most famous. It's, let's just say, very, very cool. I like cockatoos. They're cute too. They bob their head up and down like you imagine parrots do. They do that a lot, actually. Like, a lot. I don't know why. But they are absolutely adorable. Fantastic. Is this a rare bird? No, cockatoos aren't exactly rare. But I will give them a solid S tier right at the top. They're one of the most famous animals that Australians have. And generally, the yellow-crested cockatoo is native to Australia, to my knowledge. But I could be wrong. Yeah, it's... There are 6 subspecies, but... Those subspecies are not necessarily all native to Australia, but yeah. Anyways, next up, we have crows. I mean, they're crows. What do you expect me to say? They're just crows, basically. Same as any other crow anywhere else in the world. Though I do know for some reason Australian crows are bigger, I think. I'm not sure where I've heard that, but I'm pretty sure I have. Ah, no. Australian ravens are large. larger than Australian crows, so given that it's just a crow, I'll put it in C tier. Crows are cool and all, but like, you know, still just a crow. Could be a bit more creative. Ah, and now here we have the Currawong. So, the Currawong is slightly different to the crow, ever so slightly different. And to the magpie as well. It looks a lot like that though. But the Currawong, as far as I know, loves blue things. Or is that a... No, that's a bowerbird. Yeah, I'm thinking of a bowerbird. The Currawong is... basically... They build nests, and they are... apparently, they can build relationships and be friendly for a very long time with humans. That's actually genuinely really cool. I did not know that. Given that is the case, I will put Currawongs up here in B tier for birds. Ah, and here we have the dingo. If you haven't heard of the dingo, well, I do not know where you have been, because the dingo is, well, dingoes are one of the most famous creatures because of this time where some woman went onto a news channel and said that a dingo ate her baby. Naturally, people laughed at her. Unfortunately, it turns out that story was true. A dingo did indeed eat that woman's baby. It's not really very funny, if you think about it. But a lot of people certainly found it funny. Dingoes are very cute, mind you. They're essentially Australia's main canine creatures. That's so sad, yeah. But a lot of people were mocking that lady. I have no clue why. You heard of dingoes from a game? Have I heard of Dingodile? I don't think I have, actually. But it does sound interesting. Anyways, given dingoes are, well, dingoes, I'll put them up here in S tier. Maybe above the cassowary. They're also iconic like the bilby and cockatoo, but a little different. Ah, and here we have the eastern brown snake. Ah, yeah. It's a snake. One of the most dangerous snakes in the world. Actually, probably one of the actual most venomous snake in the world. Let me look that up just in case. Most venomous snake. It's the inland taipan, which is supposedly also in Australia. I think, maybe. I know the eastern brown snake is definitely up there for most venomous. Supposedly, it's the third most venomous snake in the world. It's also found in Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, but the inland taipan is only found in Australia and is the most. So, given that this is a snake and is extremely venomous and, well, let's just say pretty cute as well. I'll put it up in A tier. A nice A. And here is the echidna. What a majestic beast. A wonderful creature. An absolutely fantastic being. Knuckles. Yup, also Knuckles. The echidna will automatically be put in A tier because it's an echidna. It's wonderful. A tier or higher for the echidna. Now, next up, we've got the emu, or as some people like to pronounce it, the emu, which I personally don't get. It's an emu. It's pronounced mew, not moo. Also, hi Aiko, by the way, Ada, but Kermit the Frog. Hi Aiko, are echidna born from eggs? Yes, actually. The vast majority of Australian mammals are monotremes, which means they are born in eggs. Well, not the vast majority. There are two majorities. There's the marsupials and there's the monotremes. The monotremes are egg-laying mammals. Marsupials are mammals with pouches. There's not really much difference though. They're both extremely rare outside of Australia. There's also like the platypus and stuff that gets born from an egg, but you know, it simply happens sometimes. Apparently, I don't know why. Anyways, emus. Big emus. Did you know Australia lost a war against these? It was called the Great Emu War. Well, I say lost a war against these, but really it was just a matter of someone decided they wanted to eliminate so many emus. What happened in the Great Emu War was they tried to eliminate them, barely any got hurt or killed, and they said it was a failure because they lost a lot of ammunition. A lot. Let me check if that's the case. So, the war. So, it was attempts to curb the population of the emus, with employed soldiers armed with guns, leading the media to adopt the name Emu War when referring to the incident. But while a number of them were killed, they pretty much failed. So, aftermath. Despite the problems encountered with the apparently there was the cull. The cull. The farmers once again requested military assistance, only to be turned down by the government because, well, let's just say it didn't end very well. Apparently, yeah, it really just didn't end very well. Farmers went onto a bounty system after that, and there were a lot of emu bounties turned in. But given emus are so iconic, I will put them up in S tier, right alongside the cassowaries. Ah! And here we have a very iconic creature. Something very familiar to people who watch... Probably very familiar to people who watch Jurassic Park. Only I'm pretty sure that the actual creature doesn't have a frill neck. Ah, it's called the Dilophosaurus, which did not actually have a frill neck as far as we knew. Well, let's just say this is the inspiration. The frill-necked lizard. Look at that neck. Look at it. Look at it. Big, big neck. Big, big neck. With a lot of frills. You can probably see why it's called a frill-necked lizard. Now, honestly, I'd put frill necks up there in S, but S is getting a bit bloated right now. So, I'll put it in A instead. Next up, we have the Australian fruit bat. The dinosaur never actually spat acid. That's true as well, Alfonso. That's true as well. I mean, spitting acid is, let's just say I don't think there are many creatures that are actually acidic in this world. You see this lizard or other look different in Texas? Maybe. It's an interesting lizard. Freak bat? Or when you say cute bat? Yes. The fruit bat is one of the cutest. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can, like, turn around or upside down your thing, your screen, your monitor, or something to see it from the proper way around, but unfortunately, I can't do that, so I'll simply have to just show you it upside down. Look at the little nose. Look at those eyes. So cute. Such a sleepy bat. I'll find one with it awake. Supposedly it's called a flying fox, actually, but, you know, still, regardless. Given the cuteness, I will indeed put this up in S. Yeah. And, next up on the list, we have a spider. Spider, just in case, just wanting anyone, just in case they are scared of them, to look away at this instant. So, here we have the funnel web spider. The funnel web spider, let's just say they are very, very scary. One of the deadliest spiders on Earth. Indeed, actually, definitively one of the dangerous spiders on Earth. One of the most dangerous spiders on Earth. The reason they are called funnel webs is, well, I think their webs... No, wait, I'm thinking of a different spider. The funnel web spider is named funnel webs because I think they live in the ground? I'm not sure. Yeah, they make burrows under rocks and under rotting logs. They're like trapdoor spiders, but they don't build lids to their burrows, and they have trip lines radiating from the entrance, so it's a funnel inwards. Aren't they also extremely aggressive? I think so? Maybe? Supposedly... Yeah, supposedly they are pretty dangerous indeed. They're also called atracids, apparently, as the scientific name, which I read as antacids for a second. For just how dangerous these ones are, and how iconic, I'll be putting them in A. But since they're a spider, I mean, a bit lower than S. Now we have the galah, the Australian galah at least. If you've seen the galahs, they're the second most, iconic parrot in Australia. Galahs are close to cockatoos, relatively speaking. And they are absolutely adorable. They are in the cockatoo family, actually, yeah. It's among the most common of the cockatoos. And it's also beautiful. Look at those wings, that nice pink thing, that wonderful smile. And the nice white hair. And those beautiful black tips at the back of their face. Wonderful, wonderful. And absolutely iconic. Not necessarily on the same level as a fruit bat, of course, but still. And next we have the goannas. I'm pretty sure goannas are not necessarily native to only Australia. I think there are goannas in other places in the world, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, there are some in other places, but the Australian goannas, well, let's just say they are pretty cool. They're pretty cool, at the very least. I think I'll just put them on A tier rather than any higher though. And next up, we have one of the most iconic frogs in the world. If you've seen, well, one of the most iconic frogs in the world, the Australian green tree frog. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. It's beautiful, wonderful, absolutely majestic. There's no words I have that can adequately describe this being, this fantastical creature, this magical, absolutely wonderful experience of a thing. But are they poisonous? The green tree frogs, as far as I know, are not poisonous. At least Australian green tree frogs aren't. there are fireflies that are poisonous to tree frogs, but they probably don't eat them. But apparently someone has fed a Australian green tree frog a firefly and it died, which is not very nice, I'd say. But these are absolutely iconic and adorable, so, you know, I put them up right in S tier. Also, fun fact, apparently they have antibacterial and antiviral properties in their skin secretions. And it's rendered them immune to the population decline experienced by many species of amphibians as well. Really, really cool, if you ask me. Love this. Next up, we have the honey eater. I don't really know these, so I'll just put them in the tier F. No, I guess B for bird, and also because they do look kind of cute. Ah! And now we have the Australian ibis, otherwise known as the bin chicken. If you've heard of Australians talking about bin chickens before, well, you wouldn't really think it's one of these, would you? Let me just say, ibises are not very common outside of Australia and Egypt. And in Egypt, they are worshipped as being wonderful, amazing, godlike birds. But in Australia, ibises just eat stuff out of bins. For some reason. Bin chicken S tier? Maybe. Bin chickens are indeed very cool. I like them a lot more than, like, most people do, because, you see, they're adorable, they have these long, huge beaks, and they are long-legged too. And there's a bunch of other really cool ibises, and it's just really cool to be able to live around an ibis species. Like, even if they're annoying and they eat rubbish, that doesn't matter. They're still really cool. Next up, one of the most iconic Australian animals of all, the kangaroo. If you've ever heard of the kangaroo, well, you would know it. You've definitely heard of the kangaroo before. Everyone has heard of the kangaroo. It's one of the biggest creatures in Australia. And by biggest, I mean both size-wise and popularity-wise. I'm pretty sure there are some species of kangaroos that are actually bigger than emus and bigger than cassowaries. Largest kangaroo species. The red kangaroo has up to 1.4 meters of body length and is very enormous. And also, kangaroos are only found in Australia, I think. Like, there are maybe some close relatives elsewhere, but in Australia, these are the only actual kangaroos. But yeah, the red kangaroo, yes. The red kangaroo is the largest type of kangaroo. And I will not lie to you, it's majestic. absolutely wonderful and fantastic. With that, red kangaroos, well, kangaroos in general, are going right up at the top in S tier. Next up, koalas. First off, getting this out of the way. These are not bears. They're marsupials, not related to bears whatsoever. Not panda bears, not black bears, not brown bears. They're marsupials. Now that we've got that out of the way, koalas are, however, the inspiration of the mythical semi-cryptid thing known as the drop bear. They are genuinely pretty cool. They eat up eucalyptus trees, which, by the way, eucalyptus trees just tend to explode sometimes, so that's part of why koalas are getting endangered. Another part is they unfortunately have this very, very bad disease that they spread to each other a lot called chlamydia. It's very much, very, very sad. But yeah, eucalyptus trees do explode. For some reason. I do not know why. But oh well. Anyways, the koala. An A tier if I've ever seen one. Iconic, but not the most. Next up we have something that's contributed to the most misinformation ever. The kookaburra. Now, allow me to super quickly just, let's say, bring up a quick sound effect. And do you know why I am bringing up this quick sound effect? Well, do you recognize that sound effect? Do you? That is the sound of a kookaburra laughing. If you've ever heard it before in movies, that will take place in... There are movies that take place in Africa and other jungles that all have that laughter in it. A kookaburra's laughter. I personally have no clue why, because, there are much cooler birds with cooler sounds that they can add. But I mean, kookaburras, yeah, I guess they're cool enough. Next up. But for the main reason that they contribute so badly to misinformation, I will put the kookaburra in the D tier. Although it is an iconic animal, it's also something that I don't like, having a lot of things around. Next up though, lyrebird. Did you know, I used to think that lyrebird was spelt with IAR instead of YRE? Do you know why I used to think that? Well, the main reason behind this is that the lyrebird is actually a really, really cool creature that can imitate literally any sound that, that it hears. I think it actually is better suited to doing that than a mockingbird. I'm not entirely certain though. Mockingbirds and lyrebirds, they're close. But I think lyrebirds beat them out. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all, but I do know that I have heard lyrebirds make sawing sounds with wood. Like the sawing sound of wood, like that's like fee-foo, 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 the sound when you run a saw over a plank or something. And that plank goes and gets cut in half. So I rate this a very nice B. Magpies, I'm sorry, but you go down in the F here. Magpies are also pretty iconic, but, well, they attack your head. Really, really badly. You do not want to ride a bike or walk under a magpie nest. Because magpies, they really, really hate you. They really want you out of there. And they want you out of there quickly. Next, we have the myna? Myna? Ah, the myna, yeah. I don't know much about the myna. I'm not sure though. Apparently they've been introduced to Australia, so I'd count that as an F. They're not really that Australian. So, anyways. Oh, numbats. I recognize numbats. It's been ages since I've heard about them though. Numbats are really cool, if I remember correctly. They're basically, they're insectivorous marsupials, otherwise known as noombats, that eat almost entirely termites, so kind of like anteaters, but also kind of not. They're very closely related to, the Tasmanian tiger, otherwise known as the thylacine. Like the closest living relatives of the thylacine, which are really, really cool. Thylacines, Tasmanian tigers, well, they won't be on the list, but, if you've heard of them, So I'll put them up in a respectable A. The Pacific black duck, it's a duck. I guess I'll put ducks in B. Anyway, pelicans. Pelican, what other birds can't. S. Big S. Where does the black widow live? Not in Australia. in America, to my knowledge. And now we have the platypus. Fun fact, did you know that the platypus was initially mistaken for something that the person who discovered it had sewn together in order to create a hoax? Just that puts the platypus right up there at the top of the list, next to kangaroos. Right next to them. Plovers! Plovers, I don't know. Perry? Oh my goodness, it's Perry the platypus! That was probably really bad. Platypus, venomous as hell but still cute. Absolutely adorable. Perry the platypus! I really probably can't do a Doofenshmirtz voice. Doofenshmirtz? I don't know. Don't think I can exactly. But plovers. These creatures are evil. Absolutely, positively evil. In the same way that magpies are, but also worse, because they colonize any field, and if you try to go into that field, they attack you, like, near instantly. It's not a very good place to go. And now we have the possum. Look at him. Look at this one. Look at him. All adorable, hanging from a tree branch. Australian possums are very different from opossums. They're cute, and opossums are also standard mammals, not marsupials, I think. I'm not certain. I'll need to research it, actually. Are opossums marsupials? Opossums are marsupials, apparently. But, like, probably the only marsupial in America, then, if that's the case. I thought marsupials were just, like, mostly Australian. But 70% of the extant species are on Australia, and the remaining 30 are found in America. And one species, which is specifically the opossum, is in North America. So, opossums, the only marsupial in North America, the more you know. But anyways, possums, absolutely adorable. Definitely deserve an S tier on the list. Powerful owls. I don't know them very well, but does sound very powerful. Indeed. Getting an A tier for this. The quokkas. The quokkas are extremely adorable. They're like marsupial versions of squirrels, except, you also shouldn't touch them, and for some reason I have this odd feeling that they eat their own young. I'm not sure about that, though. I could be totally wrong. No. Supposedly, it's a myth. They do not actually... Oh, wait. They do not actually do that, but they sacrifice their babies to escape predators. Which, that's definitely something that happens. That can definitely happen, yep. But yeah, it's like a big chubby-cheeked marsupial squirrel that is also all in it for itself. Just for the big chubby cheekedness, though. They go right up in the S tier, just below the platypus. I should do some reordering. Dobby is just below the quokkas. have the quoll. Look at it! Look at that quoll! Look at that quoll! Look at that smile! That adorable smile! Isn't it so happy? Don't they look so happy? Such a happy creature. It's like, smile for the camera. I mean, it's probably actually an angry snarl, but like, still, it's absolutely adorable. Fantastic, wonderful, majestic, spotted, and amazing. I'll just look them up, but I'm pretty sure quolls are like the equivalent of stoats, and like they're apparently pretty endangered actually, which is unfortunate, but yeah, they're like the Australian equivalent to stoats. Or weasels, if you'd prefer. Stoats, weasels, that same kind of thing. Some of them are known as cat-like, but, you know, incredibly adorable. S tier, simply for the wonderful smile on its face. Ah, and here we have the rainbow lorikeet. The most famous parrot with actual parrot colours in Australia. It's definitely up there in the number of cool creatures that live here. Like, look at all that. Look at that nice beak. And all the wonderful colours. I'm pretty sure it uses those colours to scare predators away specifically. But it looks very nice. Very, very nice. Either that or it has those colours in order to, you know, I don't know. But yeah, rainbow lorikeet's up there in A. Pretty majestic. Not the greatest. Now, we have the red-bellied black snake. One of the most popular Australian snakes, but not necessarily the most dangerous. These are tiny little creatures that a single bite will kill you from. So, they are also very, very common, relatively speaking, in the environment. I'll put them up in 8, but they're really scary. Ah! And here we have one of the cutest creatures, well, one of the creatures among the cutest in Australia. The red-necked wallaby. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. Love it so much. S tier, immediately. Up there with the quokka and the other friends like the quoll. And next up, coming up, another spider. Just warning you just in case. Oh. I accidentally refreshed, but fortunately, apparently, it saves it. So, next up, we have the red-backed spider, which, well, oh yeah, spider worm, by the way, sorry. the red-back spider has, well, a very distinctive hourglass mark on its back. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen this before because, well, let's just say it does get pretty scary seeing a spider with an hourglass mark on its back. But, you know, oh well, black widows do as well, but redback spiders are definitely more scary to look at, in my opinion. Definitely a lot scarier to look at. They're probably closely related to black widows. So, I'll put them in A tier just because they're scary. Anyways, next up, we have the saltwater crocodile, one of the largest crocodiles in the world. Although I'm pretty sure the Nile crocodile is actually larger, is it? The largest crocodile crocodile species in the world. Saltwater crocodiles are the largest crocodile species in the world. They're also the largest living reptile in the world. So, kinda spooky, if you ask me. I'll put that right up in S tier, just because of his... Look at his big, big smile for the camera. And the nice resting as well. I'm here. Hi, Aiko, Ben Justice. I am simply doing an Australian animals tier list. Talking about the animals as well. It's a lot of fun. So, next up, we have the stingray. Stingrays, beautiful creatures. Absolutely wonderful. Amazing, majestic, nice, but D tier. They killed Steve Irwin. Rest in peace. Oh, next up, we have the sugar glider. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Little creature. Little creature. Creature. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. S. Top of the S. Well, no, not actually top of the S. Just below the Bilby, but same difference. And the Tasmanian Devil! Fun fact. Did you know the Tasmanian Devils were actually named Tasmanian Devils not because they are scary or dangerous, but because instead the noises they make are so frightening that, well, early settlers of Tasmania were like, oh, there must be a devil making these noises. But it was just a Tasmanian devil, not just a real devil. So, I love them. They're cute. Very cute. Next is the thorny devil. It's a lizard with spikes. A lot of spikes. Yeah. Loads and loads of them. Looks cool, but maybe a bit too many spikes. Next is the tiger snake. Another tiny snake that looks very nice. Very, very cute. And very, absolutely adorable. For some reason, all the Australian snakes look adorable despite being extremely dangerous. So, tiger snake is an S tier, but regardless. Water dragon. Ah, if you haven't heard of the water dragon before, they're pretty cool. They live in the water and swim in the water, but they're lizards, reptiles actually. And they do a bunch of stuff. I don't know very much about them, to be honest. So I'll just put them in there because they look very cool. Ah, and next is the water rat. Looks all fluffy. Fluffy and fuzzy creature. Water rat. Up high in the A tier. First time you've heard of water dragon? That's fair. Water dragons aren't exactly common elsewhere. Next, second to last, we have the wedge-tailed eagle, which is... it looks like a hawk or something. I don't know why. It's a hawk, but in eagle form. But regardless, might as well put it up in B tier. You know, for bad. And last, but absolutely not least, the wombats. Cuties, cuties, cuties. Absolute, adorable, fantastic creatures. I love them. S tier, right up there with the platypus and the kangaroo. So yeah, this is what my tier list looks like of Australian animals. It's probably not the best tier list, not very many down low, but like, I'm not the biggest critic of Australian animals. They're very cool in my opinion, and the S tier is a little bloated maybe, but they're all very cool. I like them, love them a lot. Fantastic. Amazing creatures. Wonderful beasts. I love them. Anyways, I think with that, we can finish off for the night. Everyone, I would like to say first off, before I go, a couple of words. Thank you everyone for coming along. Thank you. It was absolutely wonderful seeing all of you here. Since, well, especially since I haven't been around for a while. I mean, a couple of weeks break isn't exactly very good. Even if I did have a pretty decent reason for it. Vacation 1 week, and the week after that, we had... the week before that is like... just... general exhaustion. But I am happy to be back. Very happy. And I hope everyone else is happy to see me. Because I like streaming a lot. Streaming is one of my favorite things. I like creating videos as well, but I like streaming maybe a bit more than that. Because you're able to interact with so many different people from so many places all over the world. And just help make their days a bit better. Help make their days a bit better, that is. Or hope to help to make their days a bit better. I know I'm repeating myself a little, but you know what I mean. Recap. Thank you everyone for coming along. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed the tier list too, and seeing and learning about all these fantastic Australian animals, like the green tree frog, for example. The Australian green tree frog, to be specific. But anyway. Again, thank you. I love you all. I hope you have wonderful nights or days, sleeps or waking times. And with that, I will see you next time. Otsukaminari!